Everyone. We have Lakshmikant here with us. He is the founder of Valuecraft, which is investment advisor service company. And Lakshmikant himself has been an investment banker for more than 8 years in different companies. And we welcome you in this episode, and want to know from you how the entrepreneurial journey started for you, and how was it in the first few years as you try to navigate into unknown territory.
Great. Hi everyone.
Yeah,
Nice to meet everyone. Raghunath, thank you so much for having me
sure.
here. I have been into investment banking for a little north of 8 years now, and the
Okay.
current space that I'm in, the Valuecraftz, my firm, we are like a mid-office investment bank,
Okay.
and we support investment banks, we support startups, we support SMEs,
Okay.
when they are going ahead for a strategic transaction. So yeah,
Okay.
working, being from being an employee to being an
Yeah.
employer is a journey, not just in terms of money, but also in terms of being able to manage people. And I guess
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing which I have
Right.
got. Now, of course, being when you are working with a company, you don't have to worry about anything but just your performance, right? So you walk into an office
Right.
with an aim to deliver certain things, you walk out of the office having delivered certain things, or
Yeah.
with a backlog of something which you need to do it, post that.
Correct.
Now, as an employer or as an entrepreneur, your responsibility doesn't end with just what you have to deliver, but
Yeah.
also expands into the 7 or the 8 major business functions, which helps
Yeah.
you become an entrepreneur.
Right.
So, similarly, I mean, with every journey, as you jump out of, so when as an employee, I was pretty much into a comfort zone. But the
Okay.
moment you jump out of a comfort zone, there are a lot more challenges which come into
Right.
picture. So as I jumped out of my being an employee, being a salaried employee, I was off salary for at least 4 5 months, and
Okay.
we first set up our base in Starbucks right
Okay.
here in Mumbai, in Bandakola complex. That was our
Okay.
Starbucks where me and my partner would sit all day long and
Okay.
discuss, ideate, prepare certain things. Uh, and we of course gave a lot of business to Starbucks.
Okay.
At the same time.
Yeah.
So we, and that's where we started, reaching out to few clients. We got a couple of clients. We said, okay, let's start offering some service. We didn't know how to really price it. So whatever at first go while talking to somebody, we quoted a number, and if we felt that any kind of any iota of discomfort in his voice, we would immediately discount it further because we didn't want
Okay.
to lose the person, we didn't want to lose a client,
Right.
right? And so that's how we started, and we started doing small projects. In the process, what happened is we got few clients for whom we did work, but we ended up having a lot of bad accounts also, where people
Okay.
didn't pay us,
Oh,
or they
I see.
paid us only half, or they paid us only 10% or 20%.
Okay.
And we of course were there was a big setback. We said, we've done so much work, but people are not paying. Why should that
Oh,
happen? There has to be
okay.
some ethics. But when we look back, what we realize is that we got a good ground learning of how
Okay.
to do some work or how to deliver on certain work, right? So I think what we took back from there were the learnings of
Okay.
having worked on diverse projects, and it was God's grace that we got diverse projects to work on. So that
Right.
gave us good learning. But yeah, in terms of money, generation of income was not much. But yes,
Okay.
slowly and steadily we started, taking smaller step. From Starbucks, we moved to Regis with 2 spaces, and from Regis we moved to a WeWork with 10 spaces,
Okay.
and from WeWork now we have moved to our own office space. Of course, it's a rental office, but it's our own, space, a bigger space where I can
Okay.
seat almost 20 people there. And now
Wow.
I have teams in Mumbai, in Chennai, and in Bangalore.
Wow. That's amazing. So, how long did this entire process go from where you are right now to where it all started?
So we are now about 3 years young,
Okay.
3 years
Okay.
into the business, right?
Amazing.
And it started with two of us, and then now we are a strong team of 12-member team in India,
Okay.
and then another 2 3 people in US. We have another office in Florida in US.
Okay.
And currently the major clientele that we cater to are based out of United States, Australia, and some part in India.
Okay, amazing. So, Lakshmikant, when you started off, you said you had a co-founder or partner whom you used to discuss things. But when you start off as a fresh company, you need a lot of expertise, as you said, like in different domains, like HR, marketing, sales, and all of that, which you not necessarily might possess in the beginning. So, how did you go about fixing the gaps in terms of competence as a company? Did you hire like expert people or you found a way yourselves?
So rather, I would say we are still fixing the gaps. We have
Okay,
not yet, fixed the gaps entirely. So yeah,
right,
see, one way is, it's always it's way easier to hire people or get experienced resources and just do it. But that also brings in a lot of cost.
right,
And we are at still stealth mode where we have to keep the costs low, try and keep higher margins, try and
right,
hire good resources, which can actually be not my cost center but my profit center, right?
correct.
So over the last 3 years, we have been trying a lot of new things across domains on the HR side, trying to learn the ropes of how to read a CV, how to understand a CV, how to interview a candidate, how to
Okay,
understand what goes on behind candidate's mindset. uh, you know then even on the marketing side, we started with our own some activity on LinkedIn. After some time we stopped because we couldn't manage it. Then
okay,
we started again researching on how people are marketing, what they're doing. Similarly on the sales side, initially it was just we doing sales, but then we
right,
realized that there is so much happening, and we can't dedicate we can I mean we need to build a good sales process. So then we hired somebody, but we didn't get results, it didn't work out. Now what
okay,
happens is when you are running as an entrepreneur, we have to keep building the bridges, right?
right,
But there comes a point where you have to take a decision, you take a strong decision if things are not working out. But it becomes a very hard, very difficult call to tell somebody that, look, you're not performing and I think you need to go, right?
okay,
By God's grace, we have never reached a point where we had to tell somebody that you need to go,
okay,
right? So that is something which we are very grateful to the Almighty that we've been able to maintain that, even if
okay,
we have not been able to. So for example, on sales side, even if we have not been able to generate sales, we have still kept the person saying that no problem, we'll work it. But things change, people themselves move out, and then we get new people. Now slowly and steadily we are learning how to actually do good sales. We've got somebody trying to set up a good sales pipeline here.
okay,
Similarly, on the marketing side, we're trying to do it internally. In our kind of business, what matters the most is operations.
okay,
And we need to have a good control on operations and execution, because that's the core of our business. So that is
right,
something which we have always kept very much internal. We have learned the ropes of project managing things, setting up good operations.
okay,
And we are on Zoho platform. I must tell you, Zoho is a beautiful platform.
okay,
I'm not marketing them, but I feel
yeah,
so proud that it's an Indian product. And being an
okay,
Indian product, it's an amazing platform for global customers also. So
okay,
we got onto Zoho platform for right in the beginning, and now to a very large extent we have very set, organized operations process in place, because we have to keep churning the project, we have to keep churning the deals. So we are still building efficiencies, but yes, as I said, we are still fixing the gaps on a daily basis. It's a daily routine. On a daily basis, we have
okay,
to look at HR, we have to look at marketing, we have to look at sales, we have to look at operations, but it's fun ultimately.
right, right. Yeah, I think it's a lot of work at your end. So how do you manage time between different responsibilities, especially when you are new to things and you don't necessarily have the skill to be able to manage them?
Right. So, see, I feel, and this is something which I have learned. So, I did my studies in Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning.
Okay,
It is Sri Sathya Sai Baba's college, and I was fortunate to get a chance to study there. Over
okay,
there, we were living in a hostel, the complete boys' hostel, complete Gurukula system. The life revolved around bells. We had
okay,
bells in our hostel. Certain number of bells rang when we knew we had to get up at 5 o'clock for morning prayers. Bells rang, we knew where to go for games. Bells rang, we knew
Okay.
where to go for breakfast. Bells rang, we knew where to go to college. Bells
Right.
rang, we knew where to go for lunch. So it was such a disciplined life,
Okay.
everything happening on time.
Okay.
Uh, I would say that, not 100%, but I've been able to at least gather 40-50% of that habit and bring it here, in
Okay.
my work life. So now what happens is, on a daily basis, of course, there are a lot of things which are happening. Suddenly accounts will come up with some
Right.
queries, something to be done. Suddenly, we'll feel that there is a stretch on the employee base, so we have to hire somebody.
Right.
So on a daily basis, there are challenges, and we don't know from where which challenge will come.
Correct.
But what matters the most is how do we compartmentalize or how do we prioritize. So I
Okay.
always, work on this Eisenhower's matrix:
Okay.
urgent, not urgent,
Yeah.
or urgent,
Important.
less urgent, important, less
Right.
important, right? You have the 4x4 matrix.
Right.
Now, if you just plot that matrix on a daily basis, and what your tasks are, if
Okay.
you just plot it there, that makes life way simpler.
Yeah.
Which,
Absolutely.
because these four quadrants are nothing but which tells you something which you need to do, something which you
Right.
can delay, something which you need to delegate, and something
Wow.
which you can ignore, right?
Yeah.
So so that's how, that really helps in first setting the priority. And then after that, once the priorities are set, then it becomes easier to manage the time. But again,
Right.
we are still long way in learning process,
Yeah.
and becoming very, very efficient there. But it's a daily task.
Amazing. Amazing that you bring that Eisenhower matrix because I think many people use it, including me, when I'm trying to
Oh, wow.
deliver different projects. So,
Wow. Wow.
Lakshmikant, yeah. So, Lakshmikant, you mentioned about having international clients in US and Australia as well. So, when you started off, I'm sure you would have looked at some local clientele that you can target. And then, how did that exposure to the international clients come in? Did you find them via social media or was it through referrals?
So it so happened that, amongst the three of us, the three partner, one of our partners is based in US, in Florida.
Okay.
So that's how we had a base in US. We hired a couple of sales guys there,
Okay.
who would connect with the clients over there. Then, of
Okay.
course, we subscribe to databases to get leads, to
Okay.
generate leads. And then these
Right.
guys over there would directly call up, do cold calling, do cold emailing to clients,
Okay.
go and meet them locally, tell them that this is what we are doing. So, of course, initial phases, people, of course, didn't trust that, whether we can do something or not, because all these transactions work on a lot of confidentiality. It's a very sensitive information which is
Yeah.
being shared. But what has happened is, because I also worked with a US based firm, there was some network there, there was some, known names there. So when we
Okay.
started pitching, people were ready to give us an opportunity,
Okay.
that okay, let's try with one deal. So that's how it started. And now
Okay.
with word of mouth, with the quality of work that we've been delivering, that now almost 60%, in fact, in this year calendar year, if I see from Jan to October, almost 60% of our project that we've done are for the repeat clients, and
Okay.
40% are the new clients. So that's how it has grown. Australia, of course, we never had a on ground presence. Even now we don't have an on ground presence. But
Okay.
what has happened in Australia, again, we knew that there's a big market there,
Okay.
and we just started doing campaigns. We are still learning the ropes of how to do good campaigns. uh,
Okay.
so we started doing campaigns, we started doing some cold emailings, and through that, we would shoot campaigns to 1,000 people, we would get response from two people. Out of two, one would show interest and one would end up signing after 2 months or 3 months.
Okay.
Now with that, so far we have got few clients for whom we have done work, and with referrals we are getting more clients.
Right.
Same clients have come back with repeat businesses because they are seeing good traction happening
Right.
in terms of transaction. So yeah, so slowly we are building base out there. In India, because we are locally present here, we have been doing outreaches here. We connect with people, we meet them in conferences, again, through referrals. So we picked up few projects, they referred us to some more people. Ultimately, in my opinion, I think what boils down is our integrity and commitment towards the work. If I
Okay.
am delivering good quality work, people will want to come back and say, please do work for me.
Right.
So we never compromise on the quality of deliverable.
Right.
It may be that, I may have to compromise on the fee I charge. I can
Yeah.
reduce that, no problem. I may have to compromise on going back to client and saying that I'm so sorry, I have a delay. There's a delay in 1 day, a delay of 1 day in me delivering it to you, but allow me 1 day. I want to
Right.
deliver quality work. Right. Many
Correct.
a time people stop because they don't want to cut a sorry face. But we have always kept in mind that even if we have to cut a sorry face, no problem. Ultimately, the quality of work has to be perfect.
Got
So
it.
that's where we have always kept the focus, and as a result, we have seen a lot of repeat business and word of mouth referrals coming in.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, that's a wonderful point that you made. Like, focus on the quality and never compromise on the timeline ahead of quality work. Even if you have to delay it, let it be. But you have to focus on quality because that's the USP that you are selling in the market.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Lakshmikant, can you talk a little bit about what are the high value services that you provide to your clients, which is gaining a lot of traction across the marketplace?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of my investment banking clients, investment bankers who are doing M&A transaction,
Okay.
we help them prepare all the material which would help them support a M&A transaction. So
Okay.
right from the time of doing a very detailed financial analysis of the company that they are engaging with, coming up with a detailed financial dashboard, their KPI dashboard to show the operating metrics where the key levers of revenue and costs are, which are creating value from the business.
Right.
Then creating information memorandum, which is a very detailed 60, 70 pager document, which
Okay.
covers everything about the business, their business model, their business company overview, the management, the clientele, the vendors, the sales analysis, the revenue breakup, the geographical analysis, manufacturing facility or services facility, uh, any technology, their marketing. So everything which can add value to the business, we try and capture everything in detail, and that's a very detailed exercise.
Okay.
Strategy analysis, competitive mapping, benchmarking against the competitors,
Yeah.
and then we go on building the financial model, which is again a very detailed exercise, building a 3-year or 5-year projection model.
Okay.
A lot of assumptions which come into play, and all this is backed by a very strong secondary research we undertake. So we subscribe to some of the best databases in the world, which
Okay.
investment bank could have, because
Right.
we have to use that to offer the best service. So we don't compromise
Yeah.
on database.
Okay.
So we bring in the best databases. We use that to do our secondary research. We ensure that the research is very good, and
Yeah.
that we take into consideration while we are building the financial model. We are building the assumptions. We are building the projections, and then we do a valuation analysis for the business. Again,
Okay.
by secondary research, we bring in the recent transactions or the listed companies in similar space, how their numbers have been faring in the market, what multiples people are getting. So we try
Yeah.
and bring all those insights while doing a valuation analysis. We prepare something called as opinion of value report. It's not a valuation report, but it's an opinion of value report, which is an
Okay.
output of our valuation analysis. Then
Okay.
we also create a curated target list, because once you have all the material ready, you need to market it to the right buyers or the right investors.
Right.
Many times, the bankers struggle to search whom should they approach. So we
Correct.
do a curated research on right set of targets who could
Okay.
be an ideal buyer or who could be an ideal acquirer, ideal investor for a particular opportunity or a business. So
Okay.
that's again something which we offer to our clients. And yeah, I mean, we have seen that people have shown a lot of interest because they have seen a lot of value coming out of materials that we prepare.
Right. Sounds
And
like
in
more
fact,
of
a lot of projects that we have worked, transactions have closed, and we are
okay.
happy that we prepared the material for which the transaction
Okay.
closed. So
Got it. So sounds like more of a fundamental analysis where you look at all the company related operational data and also do some valuation based on financial models. But do
correct.
you also look at like the technical chart based analysis that most of the capital market professionals look at, like breakouts and swing based trading on the price movements in the stock market? Is that something that you advise as well?
No, 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 no. So that's
Okay.
what we are not into trading at all. We don't into active capital markets. So we
Okay.
don't get into technical analysis. So we
Okay.
are we
Got
are
it.
only on the strategic transaction side.
Right. Okay. Got it. So it's more of like you say there's an intrinsic valuation that is assigned for this based on whatever secondary research that you've done, and then you kind of advise them, this is the price point that it's favorable. Is that how it was?
Yes, to an
Okay.
extent, yes. So it's, for example, company A wants to sell out and company
Yeah.
B is looking to buy. Now, company A, at what price should they be selling? What is their valuation?
Right.
And company B, what is the right valuation at which they should be buying? So
Okay.
we come in by doing the valuation analysis, which gives a right justification for company A to showcase to company B that, look, basis this analysis, this is my valuation, this is what I'm expecting.
Okay. Got it.
So yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. So Lakshmikant, I know it's a very interesting field and mostly involves long hours, as most people mention that investment banking is for the people who put in like 10, 12 hours a day. Is that how it goes for you as well? I'm sure
Oh
it
yeah,
does,
yeah,
but
not just 12, it's sometimes 15 hours a day also.
oh, okay, okay.
Uh, but yeah, but again, I would say it's a cliche to say that investment banking you have to spend 15 hours only then you're an investment banker. Because I have always believed in doing smart work, right?
Okay.
And now with AI in place,
Yeah.
there is so much opportunity
Okay.
to do the same work that you could have done in 8 hours, finish it in
Right.
4 hours. So
Yeah.
ultimately, and that's what I tell my team also, that we don't want you to log in hours that you started at this time or you ended at this time.
Right.
Idea is not to ensure that everybody is working for 9 hours shift. We are not doing a shift work,
Yeah.
but we are more into strategic thinking. We are more into value creating work. So
Okay.
you decide what hours you want to work, but
Okay.
this is a deliverable, this is a quality of deliverable, this is a timeline of the deliverable that we expect. It should be done within in that frame.
Got it.
Now,
Yeah.
whether you have to work 4 hours a day or you have to work 15 hours a day, person has to take a call.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I think creating a culture of flexibility and positive, motivation environment is something that entrepreneurs have to also create, in addition to,
Yes,
adding
yes,
value to the clients. Yeah. Um,
absolutely, absolutely. Because see, for us, most important are our team members.
yeah.
They are the whole fulcrum of of everything that we are doing. So if the
Right.
team members are not in sync with what we are doing or what we want to do, no organization can function. So we have to take into
Right.
consideration their requirements, their needs, what they feel,
Yeah.
how they feel. So we have to take into consideration accordingly, keep modulating or keep altering our
Right.
plans and the way we function.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much, Lakshmikant. Absolute delight listening to your story and understanding your thoughts. So, any closing comments that you want to make for viewers who are aspiring entrepreneurs and want to transition from being an employee to an entrepreneur?
So I had read one book by Mr. Shiv Khera, and
Okay.
very beautifully said that uh, uh, ordinary people, people don't do extraordinary people don't do different things. They do things
Okay.
differently, right? So I
Okay.
think as an entrepreneur, it's not always about inventing something,
Okay.
but it could also be about reinventing something in a different fashion.
Right.
Right. So it's not only that with an invention you can be an entrepreneur, right? It could even be in your process of managing people, in your
Yeah.
process of managing client, in your process of delivering something, in your process of creating a value accretive product or a service. How can we do it in a different manner such that in going in the time that you are in, it creates value for some stakeholder, right?
Yeah.
So entrepreneurship is a very, very large playing ground.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, each one has to decide where does he want to stand and from which point he wants to play.
Right.
But the playground is huge,
Yeah.
right? And again, in my opinion, I feel there are no big entrepreneurs or small entrepreneurs. It's only the great entrepreneurs and the good entrepreneurs, right?
Right.
And when I say great entrepreneurs, those are the ones who create value by value for all the stakeholders, taking all the stakeholders together. And the good entrepreneurs are the ones who create value for their own self. So in my
Okay.
opinion, one should always try to be that great entrepreneur and try and create the value, the bigger value for all the possible stakeholders who are involved in your nature of business.
Amazing. I think the last point that you mentioned is just mind blowing, because I think the more value you create, irrespective of whether you are monetizing at the moment, it's something that you're giving out, and it's as the law of universe mentions, that it's whatever he gives out comes back to you multiplied, and that's how
Exactly.
the whole exercise of value creation works. Amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why I always, look up to Mr. Ratan Tata,
Right.
a great industrialist in his
Right.
own way. There
Yeah.
is so much that, Tata as a group, as a
Yeah.
business group has done for the society. And, no wonder the legacy has continued for last 150 years. And I'm pretty
Right.
sure it's going to continue for the next 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Is the value system that they are built on. So
Right.
that's
Amazing.
something which all of us should aspire to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Lakshmikant. I wish you all the best in your business journey, and I'll get in touch with you soon, and I'll also support you in any way I can.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Raghunath. And it
Thank
was pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for having here. 3 books you have written. I wish
Yep.
that you write 10 more books and many more books
Thank
post that.
you.
And wherever I can be part of your journey, I would love to
Thank you so much.
contribute.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thanks a lot, Raghunath.
Yeah. Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.